Relax and get loose while I put you up on game. The Figure Booth with Josh and Nate. This that podcast for those in the know. Batman vs. Iron Man, how would it go? We talking one of a kind, collectibles. Mezco toys are respectable. It's unacceptable if it's not in the packaging. Nate don't take pics if you ain't rapping it. Nate's dirty tricks are always happening, but damn it, man, don't you be stressing. Round here we believe in plastic confessions. We trying to figure out the figures that's gonna stand the test of time. That G.I. Joe handmade hit me in the spine. There's perfection in the way that these toys are made, but I also wanna know, do I pick Wade or Slade? So this is where I come to kick it with the guys. The Figure Booth. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Welcome back, Toy Fam. You have made it to another episode of the Figure Booth. I am your host, Josh, aka Prime to the First.
Hey guys, this is Nate, aka FigureFan_Nate, and you've reached episode 49, which we're calling The Ethics.
Oh, enticing.
Ooh, hot topic.
Touchy. I don't know if I want to get into that.
Yeah.
Get my HR hands.
Right.
HR hands ready.
Ooh, am I ethical enough for this conversation? I don't know. I don't think so. But the ethics, you know, maybe somebody reads the title, they're like, ooh, the ethics, that doesn't sound very exciting.
No.
But I think it's something, it's like one of those topics where we've talked about it before, you know, like the algorithm or just how you want to treat people. It's, you see a lot of, you know, sometimes mistreatment in the community.
Yeah.
Or just a reminder to people like, hey, you know, let's make sure that we're treating each other with kindness. There's a lot of hate in the world. The last thing you want to do is contribute to that. So what are things that we can remind ourselves? You know, I've got some ideas of ways to potentially not fully eliminate trolls, but you know, there's different ways that you could maybe go about doing it, or even social media platforms. There's different ways that I think it could be handled. So there's not this like anonymity, which is what people like to hide behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you have some like hand sanitizer that can get rid of these.
Just want to clean yourself of it.
These keyboard trolls or keyboard warriors.
Exactly.
Or what have you. Yeah, and it's tough sometimes because I think just the topic of ethics, it can get really touchy where it's almost managing your day-to-day in the gray, because some things are very black and white where it's like you do the right thing. If you see somebody in trouble, or if you know if a cat stuck in a tree and the little kid's crying, you're gonna go save that cat. You know, buildings burning down, there's a baby in there, go save that baby. But then there's other things where it's like, where do you draw the line? Where's the boundary? And I think a lot of times with social media, it's a little tough to not be the ones jumping on that bandwagon and like bashing either whether it's an artist or a company or an individual, and making that ethical call. That's a little tough.
Yeah, I think it's just like something to remind, like, you know, recognize that social media is kind of an extension of our society. You know, it's a different version of society, but it's an extension of it.
Yeah.
So if we can treat people like we would maybe in real life and bring that into the online community, then that might improve some of the interactions. But I think a lot of people get very courageous online because there is no face to the name.
Right.
Sometimes I can use a very ominous name that has nothing to do with me. You know, I could call myself Joe Schmo, figure guy, and it's me and not anybody knows it, but I could go into somebody's YouTube and do some hateful comments, or go into your page and tell you that your arcades suck or something like that.
Yeah.
And you don't have any presence to me. Like, you don't know who I am. So what are you supposed to do about it? You just take the hate, or do you report me and then I could pop up again on another account? It's just, you know, I see it a lot where whether it's a new figure that drops or, you know, there's somebody posting something and you see some like hateful comment on there and it just really starts to kind of like grind my gears. It's just like, why is that necessary? Like, why do we have to treat people like that? Yeah. You know, and it sounds corny, but it goes back to like that golden rule, you know, treat others how you want to be treated. Right. So like, if I want positive interactions back on me, I should treat other people positively. And there's these dangers of this presumed online freedom of expression. Like, I can just be whoever the hell I want to be because nobody knows who I am.
Right.
I think that's dangerous. You
know? And I think there's a sense of entitlement there that is very tough to juggle because, again, where's that line where self-entitlement comes across, and now you're putting yourself in a position, or at least you're presenting yourself in a way where you're like, I'm going to do whatever I want because it's my page, or
Right.
it's I don't care, I don't know any of you, so it doesn't matter, it means nothing. And I would challenge that same argument. It's like, if it means nothing, then why? Like, why? It should always come down to the why. Like, what's the intent? Is your
Yeah.
intent really just to ruin someone's day, or is your intent to what is the intent? What's the why behind it? Why do it to begin with? It's
Mhm.
much easier to, I don't know, not engage, or is it easier to spread that type of, I don't know, vicious negativity, where,
Right.
if you ruin someone's day, or I gave him a thumbs down, or I gave him a bad comment, or I'm getting into it back and forth. Sometimes I've seen some of those posts where the comments are just like long. It's like it becomes an email thread, and
Right.
sometimes it goes off into the DMs and they go back and forth, and then it just becomes drama, and then the community gets absorbed by that drama because we see it in the stories, and then there's like screenshots, and there's now like everyone's feeds. They're like, well, what's going on? And it blew up, and it became something out of nothing, right? And to
Right.
me, when I see those type of examples, I'm like, why? And it's, we're never going to get the full story. We're never going to get the other side of the coin. But I always kind of try to take a stand back and, one, not get involved. Two, not let it consume my feed. When I start seeing that type of stuff, I'm like, oh, today's going to be a day where I'm not going to be as interactive, or I'm going to post my stuff and then keep going, or search for other things, And that,
Right.
I think that's sometimes a harder route to go down, is to be like, hey, I'm going to take the high road and just not get involved.
That's true. It's harder to not say anything in the face of someone being negative and
Yeah.
hateful towards you. But that's, I think you hit on a good point. That's what a troll is looking for.
Yeah.
They want to create a rise out of you.
Right.
They want to say something that you're going to blow up on them, so then it can use that against you again. Or, sometimes I feel like it's people like, hey, say something hateful to me so I can report your account.
Right.
I had a situation once where some guy was like, this figure sucks or something. Why do you like this figure? And I'm like, I think you need to take a nap. And the guy reported me, and I ended up getting like shadow banned for 2 weeks just because I told the guy to take a nap. So I think he was just kind of waiting for me to say something.
Yeah, he was baiting you.
Yeah, to fire back and be like, okay, now I'm going to report him.
Yeah, he's like, this guy is against naps, or he's forced me to take a nap, and I don't want a nap.
Right. Or he's just totally dismissing what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm very much I try to live the mentality of kill them with kindness.
Okay. Wow, that's dark and not dark at the same time. I'm not killing anybody with kindness, but
no. I mean, let me add some.
I get an image of happy tree friends when you say that. Everyone's smiling, but then you're murdering them with
you're just kind of killing them with a smile.
Yeah.
Exactly. No, I mean more of like, don't go toe to toe with the negativity. Like, you call me an a-hole, I'm not going to call you a piece of crap.
Yeah.
It's more of like, hey, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm sorry you're having a hard time, but maybe you need to take a nap or something, Yeah, like,
but
just
if you tell me, hey, I'm sorry you feel that way, that's you're what are you apologizing for? You're apologizing for the way that I feel. That's going to piss me off even more.
Well,
but
that's a good
I see what you're saying, but like,
or you could say, maybe don't apologize, but just say it seems like you're having a hard time with what I'm saying.
It seems like you don't understand what I'm trying to tell you.
Right. It seems like we're not understanding each other here. So maybe the best route is to agree to disagree. But man, that pisses people off.
Yeah.
Like,
it does.
I've said that to people a couple of times. They're like, no,
I
don't agree with you. Like, okay, well, we're agreeing to disagree. That's the thing, what we're doing here.
And I see, and I applaud that, because for me, I can't even engage with it. I just completely ignore it. Almost like I put my blinders on, and I'm like, oh, I don't hear or see anything. And then just like move on. And I think that's a bit hard to do, because in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh, I should have, would have, could have, I could have said this, I could have said that.
Yeah.
And, when you think about ethics and being ethical, to me, it's always a constant reminder of always doing the right thing, even when no one's looking. And that's the tough part, because for those of us that collect and we have kids, I think it's a little bit easier, because, you want to set that example, and you want to remind them of how to be and then a person in society and be like, hey, whether you're talking to someone face to face, you want to be kind. But if it's social media or it's internet, you still want to be kind. Just because we see a lot of internet bullying, you see those effects that it has on other people, especially young children, right? So for that extent, it's like, okay, that's kind of easy to play out. But when you find yourself like, hey, I don't have any kids, I'm a young collector, or I don't have, I feel like I don't have any, it's just me, I'm vouching for myself, and I don't have nobody to really like be the example for. I think sometimes, and even myself, with as my kids were growing up, I found it difficult to always do the right thing, especially when no one's looking, and that's
true.
almost like where you want to emphasize is, because social media, you're hiding behind your phone, so you definitely have this anonymity of like, I'm anonymous right now, no one can see, and no one can trace it back to me. We get this idea of like, no one can find out it's me. They're never going to find out where I live. Or if it goes down in the DMs, no one's going to find this out. Like, I'm going to get away with murder, I'm going to kill him with kindness, or I can tell him whatever I want, and it's going to be out there, and that's my little secret. Like, now I can, that to me is that's the tough part, because then, I mean, it's between that person and their conscience. Like, you have to live with that and ultimately be like, am I being ethical 100% of the time? When you do the right thing, even when no one's looking, it's just you. At the end of the day, like, consistency is really the biggest factor for me. Is like, every interaction, I want to treat that person not only with kindness, but give them the benefit of the doubt. What's their intent? If they're trying just to be ill will, sorry, the door's not even going to open. We're not going to have any type of dialogue. You're not going to get nothing out of me. No reaction. I may read, or if I see, I'm like, oh, okay, they're just baiting me. Like,
shut down.
Delete, just completely shut down. And it's a flip of a switch, which is really hard, because again, it was always like that bait. I would always take it. But then, again, through experiences where you're like, nope, I'm not going to get that bait. I'm just going to fight those urges. I think that's the tough part when it comes to, like, especially on social media, where someone can say a word that can trigger you, and then that's it. You spend your whole day just going back and forth, or going through their page, or creating stories, or it gets out of control.
You see some people that just really take it to heart, and then they start throwing stuff in their story, like, don't trust this asshole, or this guy said this to me, and it's just like, don't make it public like that. Like,
he told me to take a nap, and then there's all these pictures about naps, and then this guy hates nap, and then it goes to like, he told me to take a dirt nap, now he wants to kill me, and then they erase the kindness part.
I mean, it's one thing to one thing I do like about the stories is when people are trying to spread the word about scammers. Like, hey, this guy scammed me. That's a different idea. Like, please keep sharing that. But if you're having a DM interaction like Prime's talking about, and you've got a guy that's DMing you, and he says, hey, I don't like the way that you collect figures, or I don't like your opinion on mezcos. And then you take it another step and you start throwing in your story, like, look at the way that this guy's talking to me. Like, you're giving him exactly what he wants, right? You're giving that guy maybe some name recognition, because, if you're a bigger page, you're throwing his name into yours. Everybody's going to shoot to that guy's page, whether they say something negative or positive. You're still giving that guy attention that you probably shouldn't be doing. So the best thing is just to not give him the limelight at all. Don't put the spotlight on him at all. Just deal with it in DM, or just like Prime said, just totally shut it off. Just like, hey, this interaction is not the way I want to go. Like, you're saying things that are rude or disrespectful. I'm not going to mess with you that way. Like, and like you said, being faceless makes you brave,
right?
Without seeing you face to face, or without having to tell you to your face, I'm much more brave as an online individual. Like, I can say hateful things to you, or, just horrible things that I would never say in person. Like, not saying that I try to do that, but you see a lot of people that, if you saw me in person, you wouldn't say that to my face, because you'd have to deal with the recourse immediately with me, face to face with you, and that bravery, like, quickly diminishes. It goes away real quick. Like, oh crap, I was just joking, man. I'm just joking. But I think you bring up some good points. Just try to ignore it. One of my first jobs was being in an online call center for a bank, and they would call in, and they're pissed because their card's getting declined. They're saying horrible things to me, and I have to, like, remove my emotions from that. I'm like, okay, they're mad at the bank. They're not mad at me.
Right.
So I'm not going to interact with this guy and go toe to toe with him. Be like, hey, I'm sorry that you had that experience. Let's try to get it fixed. And then they keep on screaming at you and saying these horrible things. You're like, okay, You can keep yelling at me all day, sir, but the problem, you called because you had a problem, right?
Yeah.
So let's try to fix that problem together.
Yeah.
I'm trying to help you here. So get the anger out of the equation because it's not helping anything. I think you see that a lot in online interactions. Another thing that drives me nuts is when people try to state opinions as fact. And you see this sometimes with like new pre-orders or figures that you see in like a rendering.
Yeah.
You know, one thing I've always really respected about D Amazing is that he does not give opinions about figures that he does not have in hand.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of the times what I see as an example, like let's say Mezco throws up the Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
And people immediately say, oh, his elbows can't bend, that's photoshopped. It's like, you don't know that.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool if you state it as opinion, but you could say something like, hey, I think he might not have double jointed elbows because the photo's photoshopped. Don't just go into the Mezco group and you're like, yeah, this figure's shit. He's got single jointed elbows. Like, you don't have it in hand. You have no idea what you're talking about. Well, you know, like it drives me nuts when I see people do that. And that might not be the best example, but I see it all the time where they take their personal experience and they make it like a fact for everyone else.
It's no, and I get what you're saying. It's sometimes I take that with a grain of salt where they just get a head shake from my perspective if I'm listening or watching this where I'm like, where are they getting this info? 9 out of 10 times they're incorrect. And then that one time that they're right, that's what they'll stick to. You know, that ship is sinking, but they'll hang on to it. They'll be the captain from the Titanic. They'll go down with their ship. They're like, that one time that I said that I was right. I'm like, yeah, that was like 4 years ago, buddy. Like, let it go.
Yeah, right. They proved you wrong a couple of times already, but hey, you can bring that back up in conversation. That's cool because it helps your argument right now.
Yeah,
you know.
And I mean, I don't know if it's just like it could be just a thing that is amongst our community. It's such a we love to. I don't even want to know if the words assume, because when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me. But the assumption is really great within the community where we see render pictures and we automatically judge and we tear it apart, or we praise it. We're like, oh, this is going to be the best figure ever. And it's like my top 10 figure of the year. It's like I see a very common theme where we're always to that extreme. It's either the best or it's the worst figure. There's no gray.
There's no in between, or respecting other people's opinions. You know, it's like, it could be
you're with me or you're against me.
Right. And I think sometimes it's like, hey, there's been a lot of pre-orders. I don't want to have to pay for this. So rather than saying that I don't have the money to pay for it, let me find something negative to focus on to justify why I don't want to buy this.
Yeah.
And then hopefully I can get a bandwagon started and we can all just start to agree.
Hey,
because as soon as I'm, you know, if I'm the guy that goes in there and it's like, hey, I disagree with you. I think this is going to be a great figure. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah.
You'll see this guy respond and be like, well, it just looks like shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, okay. But that's an opinion though.
Yeah.
Hey, that's cool and all, but don't try to get this entire Discord on your bandwagon of why we shouldn't be buying this figure. If you don't want to buy it because you don't have the money, that's on you. And don't make it about something else.
Yeah. And I'm okay with someone saying like, hey, I'm not going to buy it because I don't have the money now. That's
totally fine. Just be honest.
I appreciate honesty much.
Yeah.
It's going to go further with me and you'll earn my respect. Like, I respect somebody way more if they're just flat out honest, to the point where it's like you're almost too honest, where it's like blunt. And that's, I think, probably one of my biggest flaws, where sometimes I'm really real honest. Like, if you're going to ask me for a critique and like you've told me like, hey, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't like this, that, like,
right.
I'm going to give you really good, honest feedback. But it's like, I think about it. Is it what you want to hear versus what you need to hear? And a lot of instances, most individuals, there's a lot of stuff that we all need to hear, myself included. Like, I don't want to hear what you may think it may make me feel good. No, tell me what I need to hear. Like, if you see like, hey, dude, you're going down the wrong path, or you handled that interaction very bad. You put that all these figures were shit, but you're praising them last week. Like, I don't mind being called out and be like, hey, dude, like, what's going on? You're contradicting yourself. I'm like, oh, you know what? Thanks. I appreciate that much more than just, sugarcoating it.
Yeah, there's two different ways to give feedback, right?
Yeah.
So I send Prime a picture. He could just respond back, be like, this is shit, and then move on his day, you know? And that's not helpful feedback to me. That hurts my feelings, maybe. I'm like, okay, cool. But he could say, hey, I see what you're trying to do here. However, there's these 3 things that I really don't like about this picture.
Yeah. Turn the head more.
You know? Yeah, right. Turn the head more, or the light's not quite right, or you know, the light doesn't match the background. That's one I recently got, and it made me switch up my whole lighting thing.
I'm like, here, let me send you this screenshot of a cropping, how to crop it. That turned into like a 20-minute discussion, man. We almost ended up getting on the phone.
Yeah, and I've seen other people post this, like, hey, man, I almost yelled at you, but that really helped me out.
Yeah.
Like, me and Prime had this moment of misunderstanding. We're like, what are you talking about? No, I don't manually crop my photos. And he's like, I'm not telling you to do that. I'm telling you the way that you cut off the arm here looks very odd in the photo. So, and then he sent me this diagram. I'm like, what are you talking about? I know what I'm doing. So,
Get out of here. Damn, rookie.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, light bulb goes off. I see exactly what he's trying to tell me now.
That's funny.
You know, I got to stop taking it personally, because a lot of times with toy photography, you just want to be done with it. You're like, I just want to be done with this shot. I just want him to tell me it's a good shot. So
I was trying to do the right thing. All right, I was trying to be ethical.
Yeah, he's trying to do the right thing,
not lie.
So, you know, just think about that, everybody. If somebody's asking you for an opinion, it's probably because they genuinely respect where you're coming from. They genuinely respect your opinion. So if they're saying like, hey, can you give me some feedback? You know, try to be, and I'm not the best about it either. Like I've left DMs unread accidentally, or I'm in the middle of a chat and I don't realize they're asking me for opinions. I'm like, oh crap, I didn't give an opinion back. Now I feel like crap. But, you know, just try to be respectful with people when you're doing that. So I've got this idea of a way that we could potentially eliminate trolls, not entirely, because this is probably not a perfect idea. But the biggest thing about a troll is that they are faceless, right?
Okay.
So what if before you made like a YouTube profile, before you made an Instagram profile, there's like this online registry of your identity. Okay. So it's like, okay,
I'm already feeling threatened right now. I'm already backing away.
I'm like, hear me out.
I'm gonna come in out of the viewfinder. I'm just gonna start hiding.
So much like you have your driver's license.
Okay.
You can't drive in your state without that driver's license. So if you get in an accident, everybody knows that is Josh driving right there, because his license plate, his license all tie back to Josh.
Okay.
Right? But he could use a different license plate. He could say like,
I can forge some. I can use Kevin's.
Arcade Man.
Canada.
He could do whatever he wants. I don't know who he is behind the wheel.
Yeah.
But just like an online registry, I have to go to this online identity system or something that's managed by the government. It's managed by some kind of official entity.
I'm anti-government.
This is just an idea. You're poking holes in it, and that's what I want you to do. But I have to go there and I have to say, okay, my name's Nathan.
Okay.
Blah blah blah. You know, I'll say boy or whatever.
Figure fan night.
Yeah. Here's my ID that verifies who I am. Okay, now I go to YouTube, and YouTube's like, hey, can you verify you registered in this online identity system? I have to give YouTube a code, and it's a PIN.
Like the last four of your social.
Well, no, it's not like that. It's like a PIN number, a personal number.
Oh, give us your PIN number to your bank account.
A PIN number that's not a PIN number to my bank account.
Okay.
But it's a number that, it's like a 2-step verification, right? So I go to YouTube. I'm like, hey, I want to start a profile. I can name whatever I want. I could name it Figure Fanatic.
Okay.
And you don't know it's me. However, there's an online identity system for YouTube, and they're like, okay, I can verify that this is Nathan Boyer using this account. The reason why I say that is because for all the hate. Now, you're not going to get rid of just like the normal people that are like, this sucks.
Yeah. It's the extreme hate.
But yeah, if you're seeing like extreme
who's gonna
hate,
go after them?
Like bullying, or like somebody dogpiling, or you're threatening my life, you know,
dogpiling them.
You know what I mean? Like you see a bunch of people jumping on like this.
Yeah, no, I know. I just got a visual of like in elementary school where we all dogpiled like one kid. Now we're arresting kids and saying.
Yeah, now you're taking it just a whole nother level here.
Okay. Sorry, you said dogpile.
Let's say somebody threatens my life online, or says something, or like, you know,
you like Mexico. Now I'm gonna go after and like.
Or a hateful comment.
Kill you with kindness.
You know, like he tries to like say something very hateful, and then it creates this whole.
Okay.
I can go to YouTube and be like, "Hey, I feel like this guy is being disrespectful of me and going way too far. I would like to file a complaint against him."
Okay, sure.
Then YouTube is the only one that knows who that guy really is. Okay. They won't tell me, but that is a point against that person. Like, okay, -1 against Josh because he did this and it's verified.
Starting beef.
Yeah, starting
crazy beef, too much.
So you start to rack up these points. You get enough, you're no longer allowed to have an online identity for whatever a certain amount of time.
Yeah, these are the type points you don't want to get.
Right.
Definitely not enabler points. These are opposite, anti-enabler.
Exactly. These are the points that
this
you don't
sounds like
want.
It's very Marvel Civil War-ish. Like, I don't know what side I'm going to be on. You sound very Tony Stark right now. I might go Captain America and be like, I don't think I'm going to register. I'm gonna revolt against the system and make a bunch of fake. Just like you at your driver license, I'm gonna make some fake driver license, make some fake registers.
And there's going to be loopholes around it, and you don't want people having access to your personal info. And I think about this from like a female standpoint. You really don't want people having access to your personal info. So you can only get it for like valid reasons.
Wait, hold on, wait. From a female standpoint, that they don't want people to have their access. So guys,
I just mean like you could get some creeper guy that's like, oh, well, she offended me in this thing. I want her identity, so I can report her, that type of thing. Like, that's dangerous.
Hey, guys would want your info too. They're like, I saw Figure Aficionado. I want his info. It looks like a tall glass of water.
Both ways, Prime. That goes both ways. So obviously I need to flesh this idea out.
This sounds like our rental toy idea.
Yeah, right. The rental toy idea. Yeah, I'm going to send a figure out. I'm going to get it back in pieces and be like, hey,
and it's going to be Joe Schmo who put the faithful comment.
$10. I'm not owed any more money. But if you create some kind of system where I have to at least show you who I am.
So I register, and then they're going to show you where I live. This sounds very similar to like other programs where you have to register yourself. And they're like, hey, you have 4 trolls in your neighborhood. Stay away from these 4 areas. Maybe there's going to be a site where you can look up trolls. Like
trolls. Yeah, exactly.
Troll Central.
Like registered trolls in your area.
That could be something. Maybe people could just register trolls.
Right. You can just see like, oh crap, I live right next to a troll.
Yeah.
Like this sucks. But man, with the faceless part goes away. Like
the faceless part does go away. Yeah.
I feel like in order to make change, you're gonna have to make extreme stances. And this is one of them. Or you're gonna have to do something that's probably gonna piss a lot of people off because they don't want to have their identity out there.
I think even as little as like, okay, you have a troll, but if you're acting tough in the comments or whatever, let's say it's a chat, the video is always on. Like, we can see your face. I think that the minute your face is out there, then people just shut down. Like, I've been sometimes like not in sessions or in a scenario where there's a troll, but I think the minute individuals know the camera's on and they see themselves on there and like everyone can see everybody, then they're either more attentive, they're more like reserved or like their true nature, or maybe like they're more timid and they're not going to be like commenting as much. But that'd be like kind of crazy if you were to do a live, but you see like either little mini pictures or videos of themselves. Like, we'd have a bunch of faces. It'd be really crazy. It'd be like having a Zoom call, having with 100 people. But the thing is, knowing that we could see them, I think would freak people out.
True. Yeah,
and everyone can see
the information has to be protected somehow. I mean, there's got to be some kind of checks and balances. Like I'm saying, like obviously there's things you got to think about of how this is going to work. Maybe it's an opt-in system. Yeah. So like, hey, in order to use YouTube, you have to opt in to share your personal information in case there is a case of bullying or negativity. You can choose to accept that, or you can choose not to. But if you choose not to, you can't use these certain features. One of them being you can't participating in live chat. You can't comment. Yeah. You can't dislike. You can't like.
Yeah.
You can view videos if you want to, but unless you opt into our identity system, you're not allowed to do these other things.
There you go. Okay, I like where this is going now.
Create negativity, and you bring up a good point. I love the live stream aspect of how our communities kind of evolved because it puts faces to names, it puts personalities to names.
Yeah.
And I feel like those people are maybe a bit more, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but those people are a bit more courageous maybe. Like, hey, I'm willing to put myself out there that you know who I am a bit better. But it's a way for me to interact with fans, interact with people I've known, so that we can create a little bit more of a personal connection than just having this online profile. But even within those, you still see these random names and accounts that say like something negative into the chat.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, I wish I could find out who this guy is.
Oh, yeah.
So that I can maybe DM him personally. Like, do you have a problem? Like, what's the issue here?
You're going to DM him like, hey, send me a pic of yourself first. Yeah. And then we can continue the conversation.
Send me a pic. Tell me your address. What's your phone number?
Give me your details. I need your location, a picture of yourself. Sounds like the AOL days.
Yeah, right. So maybe the opt-in system's the better way to go about it.
Yeah,
You have to
I like
opt
the
in. If you
opt-in.
do opt in, fill out this information. It's like sometimes when I go into like a Facebook group or I go
Oh, you
into
got
like
to answer some questions.
you have to answer questions, and one of them could be like, hey, we're not going to share this, but tell us what your name is, type of thing.
Sure.
Unless you agree to give us this info, you're not allowed to be part of the group. So we want to know who it is that we're talking to.
Yeah.
We want to have, the identities kind of revealed a bit, so we all know that we're respecting each other. That's one thing that's kind of good about Facebook, is that it is connected to sort of your personal profile a lot of the times.
Or maybe that your picture should be you and not like Donald Duck or
right.
It's always weird when it's always like, I don't know, it's just such a random, the picture is something either like very iconic, like Punisher or something, but then the username is like, I don't know, something totally that doesn't correlate with Punisher, where you're like, oh, that's a Marvel comic. It's just, or it's too super villain-y. Like that, I'm like, you gave yourself a username that sounds like a super villain, yet your picture is of like Captain America with a shield. Like, what's going on?
It doesn't coincide. Like,
or
what's
it's
going
like
on here?
Phoebus or a Fred Flintstone, but then your username is like kind of dark. So,
or you're seeing a lot of that with hackers too on Instagram, where they make themselves look like someone else, but the name's just slightly different, and then they DM you like, "Hey, I'm trying to do this ambassador system. Can you send me a screenshot of this link?"
Like, I've heard the link scam.
Yeah, don't do that. If somebody DMs you and you don't know who they are, they're asking you to like verify them and send you a screenshot. Do not do it, people.
Yeah,
because that is a way of hacking into your account. They're trying to send you a text, which is going to send back a code, which gives them that two-step verification to get into your account. That's how they're doing it.
It's crazy.
And I feel like because of the faceless nature, they could get found out, go create another account, DM you again. It could be like primes to the first arcade. Like you might not even realize it's just slightly different. Primes to the first, but it's not Prime.
Yeah,
but they're using the same logo as Prime. They have a profile looks very the same. Maybe they switch themselves to private, so you can't see his post. You don't really know if it's him or not. But they could act just like
pictures
him.
of a girl on a beach, and I'm like, that's not even me.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously
I like the opt-out.
Yeah, the opt-out, opt-in thing might be a good option. I'm just trying to think of ways like this is a problem that seems to be getting worse over time. Maybe it's just me that I'm seeing it more and more and more where you just, I manage a Discord and all of a sudden you'll see like a group of like 4 or 5 guys that are all in there and they're all kind of acting the same way.
Little sus.
Yeah, they're a little bit suspect. They're throwing these random comments into the chat, like just obviously to start some kind of controversy. And it's like, I wish there was a way that we could get these guys out of here. What we've started doing is like, hey, when you enter the Discord, you have to do this agreement system. Like it says you have to go into the rules tab, read it, and then when you get back from the rules tab, hit accept. That lets you into the Discord, which at least tells us like you were forced to read the rules.
Yeah.
So if I see that you violate the rules, I can kick you out. Be like, hey, I know you read them because you had to get in here.
Or what if we add like, hey, we're gonna fine you every time you violate one of these, and
a fine might be a good way.
It's like, and you agreed to it, so you just have to enter like your bank info, enter your debit card, and then boom, you got a ticket.
YouTube sends you a receipt.
Yeah, you violated the contract. You just got fined.
That's a great idea.
And levels of fine. First offense is $1, but
that's a great idea.
The more you do it, make that revenue sometimes.
Yeah, YouTube sends you a receipt. Be like, by the way, we charge you $10 for hateful comments
for saying
reported
that
and verified.
Prime and Figure Fan 8 suck, and you said it 10 times, so you just gave them $100. They're almost like super chats, but they're fines. So
yes, super fines.
Super fines.
You want to be hateful?
We're onto something.
You got to pay for it.
Yeah,
it's just
you got to pay the toll if you want to be a troll.
There, boom.
Hey,
perfect. Pay the toll if you want to be a troll. Yeah, you should start your own business and have that be the slogan, and then sell yourself to YouTube and Instagram. Like, hey, I've got a new business. Pay the toll if you want to be a troll. You opt in and you opt out. You see guys are you got to pay the fine. I'm just thinking of different ways. Like since this was kind of an idea that we had for the podcast. I'm like, okay, now that we're presenting the problem. Yeah. What are some ways that we could potentially fix that problem? Or
it's always good to come up with some type of solution.
Yeah.
You don't want to just bring problems.
Yeah, you don't want to bring problems and just say, hey, this is a problem. Okay, let's move on. what are some things that we could potentially talk about as solutions? So let us know your thoughts, guys.
Yeah.
Kind of a different topic, but something I wanted to talk about. When you're hitting the like button for this episode, make sure you leave a comment below.
Yes.
And tell us what your thoughts about online ethics, or maybe some ideas that you have that might improve the overall internet situation.
Yeah.
Some things that you can recognize to stay ethical. Like I talked about, recognize that the internet is an extension of society. We're all part of this culture.
Yeah.
We're all participants in the culture. What you do affects me. So if you're throwing out negativity, it's probably going to come back to you. So if you want to have a positive culture, put the positivity out there.
For sure.
If you see the abuse and harassment going on, refuse to empower it. Don't give people the extra power. Downvote that guy, or tell him like, hey, you're being an asshole. Like, what's your deal? Like, don't engage in that. And if you see people jumping on that bandwagon, try to move the topic away from it or something. Or to Prime's point, just don't even engage at all. Don't take that stuff personally. And just acknowledge that we're all different people. We're all going to have different opinions. What Prime thinks about a figure might not match what I think about a figure, and that's the totally beauty of it. Okay.
At the end of the day, that's the beauty of it. I love that people don't agree with my point of view.
Right. It's totally okay to disagree with people, and it's not a personal attack on you. I promise.
Never. Yeah.
It's healthy to share opinions. That's what this is all about. That's one of the reasons why we started the podcast. So, cool. Yeah, I'm glad we talked about that. Like I said, I really want to hear you guys' thoughts on what you think.
Yes, let us know.
Before we move on to other topics, I noticed that you have something different on.
You see, look at this. Like, look at that.
Oh, wow. Looks like two guys going at it because they probably have some beef.
They got beef. That's how we settle the beef here at the Figure Booth.
That's right. We spread rumors and start beef. This is how we settle beef with the online haters. Man, if I could just punch a couple of online haters, I would feel so much better about myself.
Well, you don't have to punch anybody. You can go and get a shirt instead and just be like, hey, this is the way we settle the beef here.
If you want to share, if you guys want to represent how you settle the beef, go to thefigurebooth.com and order yourself a brand new shirt, just like what Prime's wearing. It comes in white and it also comes in black.
Yes.
A bunch of different sizes. While you're there, we've got the two fan-created logos. Action Figure Neverland Brian and then Adam Gonzo. He created two of ours. I'm wearing Adam's right now.
Yeah, that one's awesome.
Love this shirt. And there's also Prime's merch on there. So if you want a Prime Arcade t-shirt, you can get that on there. There's Spreading Rumors, Starting Beefs. There's a Plastic Confessions one.
Yeah.
We've got a bunch of different merch on there. So if you haven't gone to our website, go check it out. It's a great way to support the podcast. And I'll say this again. If you guys want one of Prime's arcades, I actually was talking to somebody in the Discord earlier that was like, hey, where do I get one of those? Prime keeps 4 always available on his website. Yes. You can get them at any time you want. And if you want something special, you can fill out the order form. But if you get up to $100 worth of merchandise, he will give you free shipping, which is kind of a no-brainer. So get 2 arcades, get the free shipping, and then have an awesome setup for your photos. It's great.
Yes, sir.
So going into other things, pre-orders. Let's talk about pre-orders for the week. I feel like we covered a lot of pre-orders in our live, but that didn't even cover.
It didn't cover it. Some more pre-orders came out.
There's a lot of stuff dropping. We can't keep up with all this crap.
It's too much crap that we need, and we love it.
One of the newest ones
is
some Mezco crap.
Uh-oh. Here we go, Mezco. I'm trying to leave you, and every time I leave, you guys pull me right back in.
Every time I try to get away, you pull me right back in.
We talked about Spider-Man last week.
We did. Talked about Spider-Man. Mezco revealed a teaser of this during Toys Fair this year.
Right.
It wasn't really a teaser for Goblin. It was a teaser for Spider-Man, but it was clear that the Goblin was in the picture.
Yeah.
So it was only a matter of time, when they were going to reveal this. I'm actually kind of surprised this came out as soon as it did.
When's the ship date? It's like 2050 or?
I mean, if Batman 89's an indication, probably
that's the only thing that kills me. I'm pumped about this right now. I wouldn't mind waiting like December. But what is it, like February 2023?
Yeah, which December to February 2023, which probably is going to get pushed back at least once.
Right. We're looking at least a full year. I feel like it's going to be May or June of 2023, if that. If that. Look
Yeah,
at
I'll be
Mr. Freeze.
surprised if they hit the December time frame. I'll be very
Mr. Freeze has
surprised.
been 2 years.
Yeah, Mr. Freeze, Constantine, Batman 89. I know we talk about this all the time, but it's still not in my hands, and it's still money that I have paid to Mezco a long time ago.
Yeah.
I know we're getting off topic, but I really want that NRD thing.
Yeah.
If they, let's say if December to February comes around, they don't deliver it, and they push this back, I should get the option to give my NRD back. Like, hey, I want to cancel my order, give me back my NRD. You didn't fulfill the original agreement.
And I'm not going to go down that. We'll stick to this, but the good thing is these aren't exclusives, so we can order them from other retailers.
True. Yes.
A lot of guys in the community, One Stop Toy Shop. There's a bunch of local guys out in the toy community. Bat Metal takes pre-orders. We have a ton of resources out there. Entertainment Earth, BBTS. So to me that's a good option because I can just order it, and I think some of them do require an NRD, but it's much less, like $10. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
And then I'll just wait. I don't mind the $10.
Yeah, I love it when it's not exclusive because it just provides so many extra options.
Yeah.
And shout out to One Stop Toy Shop. If you're not in his Discord, he gives out discount codes all the time to Discord members.
Yeah.
I just did one recently, which is a huge savings. So that's another great way to save on your standard figures. So go check him out.
And now that they put this up for pre-order, I'm probably going to pick up that Spider-Man because this is a classic, like those head sculpts on Norman. Man.
Yes. And they got the weaves, man.
Yeah, they got the waves in his hair. They got, man, it's.
Did I say weaves? I'm sorry, I meant waves.
Waves.
I said
yeah.
weaves.
He doesn't have a weave, but he has some waves.
He got some waves. Oops.
I don't know what head sculpts you might get, but
long hair, Norman.
Yeah, but this will be a great set, and they're killing it with the poses. It's straight out of the comics.
Yeah, I really like how this Goblin came out. I don't know a lot about this. Like we're showing here for anybody audio listeners, one of his accessories, which looks like a ghost face.
Looks something like out of a Scooby-Doo or something.
Yeah, it looks like like somebody took the hat off of the villain in Scooby-Doo and they revealed who they are. I don't know what that really is all about. I'm sure it's got some kind of comic. He's got another one where he's throwing a frog at Spider-Man. I like the effect, how it's kind of going out of his hand.
Mm-hmm.
I hope they give the option of putting other things there. Like if that's just, I hope the frog just kind of pegs in. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that you can peg in something else. Like
the Goblin head is really good.
I really like the Goblin head.
Yeah.
The eyes I feel like look a little wonky, and I don't know if they're just photoshopped in right now or what the case is. I love how it comes with the glider.
Yeah,
it
looks pretty big. Yeah, for that price, $112 and a glider, that's really good.
I was just gonna say the same thing. $112 for the price, and you get the glider, you get the Goblin, you get a ton of freaking accessories. I'll get to those photos.
The eyes look really beady, but it reminds me of like classic Goblin, like from
Yeah.
This is the old comics.
Kind of how I wish the Tobey Maguire Goblin had come out a little closer to this look rather than the armored look.
Iron Man, like it looked like Iron Man and Goblin had a baby.
Exactly, and it was so close to the other Iron Man movie. I'm like, did they get the idea from Goblin? But yeah, I really like how this comes with so many heads. This is like a cool change of pace for Mezco. Is the amount of heads that they're putting in their figures.
Yep.
You see it a lot. Doom had 5.
Yeah.
The new Wolverine has 5. I think the new Superman is going to have 5.
Yeah. That head sculpt can almost pass for like a Sandman too. A little bit larger.
Oh, yeah.
Give us a Sandman.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
13 interchangeable hands, 5 different head sculpts. 2 of
this is what I love seeing. Other properties like Marvel, DC keep giving us. Just don't make us wait 3 years for our freaking stuff.
Right. Don't make us wait. Add in additional stuff like you are now. Like I love the Merce, the messenger bag, the man purse. Yep. The ghost bomb is what that's called. A frog bomb. I need to brush up on my knowledge because I don't know about these.
I'm telling you, this must be from like 70s and 80s Goblin where he had like these goofy bombs, like ghost bomb, frog like.
Yeah.
I'm sure somebody would get offended if he had a frog bomb or a ghost bomb.
That's true. Yeah, they're gonna have to explain that a little bit. Yeah. Why does he have that white?
Don't hurt the frogs. Save the frogs.
You get the Goblin mask, which I guess can be held in a hand.
That's cool.
3 throwing bats. The sparkle blast effects. You get the Thrown pumpkin effects, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the ghost bomb and the frog, but it's like a thrown pumpkin. And then you get like 6 different pumpkins.
Bunch of pumpkins.
Which is really awesome for Halloween shots. You can just use those for anything. The smoking bomb pumpkin, and then a flaming pumpkin bomb. I said pumpkin so many times.
Pumpkin.
Pumpkin.
That glider looks dope.
Yeah, the glider is really cool, and you get the glider effects. It comes with hinged wings, so the wings do move. Apparently,
that's awesome.
2 goblin glider hover effects and the thruster effects. So you can make him look like he's hovering. You can make him look like he's shooting through the air, or maybe he's got it in his lab.
Yeah,
just kind of sitting on the ground. There's so many possibilities with that. I love it. But yeah, $112 for this one. I think it's a great price, great release. Please, more of this, Mezco.
Yeah,
I think this is awesome.
I've
seen some people say that it looks like pajamas or Migo style.
Yeah,
I don't really see that. I think it looks great, but obviously everybody's entitled to their opinion. We're okay to agree.
I can see
disagree.
the Migo. It's a Migo feel, but I think for me it's more like vintage retro-y. Gives me like that really class. It's like this is a really, really classic Green Goblin.
I agree.
It's not even a modern. It's like an 80s, 70s Goblin, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree with you. Cool. So moving on to other ones, there is some new stuff on BC Toys Box. BC Toys Box. And this is a 6-inch Kula World Wave 1. For anybody listening, it's like a skeleton warrior.
This reminds me of like there was a cartoon I remember back in the day. There was like a bunch of skeleton. They might have been called Skeleton Warriors, but this is what that reminds me of. Yeah,
I know what you mean.
And they were along like the ways where like those visionaries and there was like these skull guys. It was all around that time, like biker marks from Mars, and there was like these. I remember there was like these skull action figures and cartoon.
Yeah, I wonder if Kulu World is some bigger property that I'm not aware of.
Yeah,
this in particular, I feel like this one with the helmet on is taken from Army of Darkness. I don't know if you've seen that movie.
Yeah,
but there's a guy that looks almost identical to that in the movie. And then there's also different variations of.
And these aren't the skeletons like you find at Home Depot, right? And they're posable. These look a little bit better.
Right. These look a little bit different. These aren't your Mythic Legion skeletons. They aren't your Storm collectible skeletons. They're a little bit more cartoony, I guess is the best way to do it. A little bit more animated. Okay. And you can get $65 for one of them, which I feel like is a pretty good price, or $240 for a set of 4.
Oh,
that's not bad either.
No.
So if you want to, build an army like this is showing here,
that's pretty cool.
At least 4 of these guys, and then I assume it comes with a bunch of different accessories to make all the different variations here.
Yeah, that looks
or
really cool.
Maybe there are different versions. It says Soldier, Knight, Reaper, Eyes, Wave 1, set of 4. So I guess there's 4 different versions, and then they seem to be interswappable.
Hopefully they can, kind of swappable. That's really cool.
That would be cool. But yeah, that's a new one I saw pop up. And then the Snail Shell 112 T-Waz action figure. This reminded me kind of the Acid Rain, the Joy Toy stuff that you guys are always talking about.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of that. It's a little bit different, obviously. It also gives me sort of B-Toys Robin vibes.
Right. And these are 112 scale, so it's not 118.
Exactly. These are 6-inch
and I know there's
figures.
A lot of people out there that love that Joy Toy stuff, but the scale is not their cup of tea. This is a good option.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it looks like they come with a lot of really cool accessories. Is that like a wolf head? Someone decapitate. What's all I want to say is Mutt. But what's Stanley? Stanley. Did someone decapitate
Stanley.
Oh, White Fang or whatever.
Yeah, White Fang or Timber.
Timber. There you go.
Timber. That's it.
I thought of every name except for Timber.
I don't know. Yeah, what that's going to come with. Apparently, there's a DX Captain.
Okay.
Which is going to be $105. I think that's probably the top one. It comes with the extra wolf heads.
Yeah.
And then you get a regular soldier, which is going to be $85.
Okay.
So just another unique third-party figure.
Yeah,
I love seeing that
third-party companies are killing it.
Yeah, third-party stuff keeps coming up. We'll talk about a couple more. Marvel Legends Morph.
Yep.
Is this on your radar?
It is, and then it isn't. Just I love the stuff. The price, I hate that price.
$28.
$28. I get it. The packaging is the VHS, very nostalgic. They gave me the 2 extra head sculpts. but I think that's the Cyclops body, and I don't know, there's Morph is a much needed. I'm between a hard place and a rock where I feel like I need to get this Morph. It's the animated series one, but $28.
It's a lot to ask for.
I don't know. And it's just I'm getting a set of hands and a head sculpt. Like that's it. I don't know what else I could ask for.
Well, a removable jacket would be a nice feature.
Yeah.
Just like I talked about with the Hush figure. I hate when they make the jacket a part of the figure.
Yeah. To me, that's not $28.
Yeah. I feel like the increase in the price is just getting harder and harder to justify it for me because I'm already not a big Legends guy.
Oh no, I can deal with. I'm a huge Legends guy, but even bigger X-Men. So when I see this, I'm like, damn, my collection's not going to have a Morph he is going to have a Morph. And I'm just going to have to bite the bullet, and I'll have a Morph, and I'll be happy. I don't know.
And like you said, this is part of the VHS retro series.
And that packaging's awesome. Like, is it collector? I don't even know if it's collector friendly or not. I'm going to want to keep the box.
I love, classic tribute to the show.
So cool.
I think that's one of the episodes that Morph is in. Yeah, the packaging is really cool. And then he's got that deco where you can see he's got some comic lines.
Yeah. Even though he annoyed me in the show, he freaking annoyed me.
Oh, he's got that horrible laugh.
Yeah, he does. That's what it was.
High-pitched voice. And if you want to hear the laugh, go check out Toying Around.
Oh, he does a good Morph laugh.
He did a little impersonation of Morph that was pretty spot on.
That gave me the chills.
Pretty great. His Wolverine needs some work.
And then I came back. You'd think his Wolverine would be on point because aren't they both Canadian? Like he's doing Wolverine. He's not doing him justice. But
represent Canadians, for us.
Properly.
Kevin, come on.
He should have took off his shirt first. I think once the shirt's off, the Wolverine comes out.
It comes out, right? You gotta get naked, and then you're like, okay,
oh no, just the shirt off, not naked.
I'm talking about fully naked, man.
Wow,
take the pants off.
You heard it there, Kev. Nate wants you naked.
But yeah, Morph's cool. We'll talk about the other ones some other time. We'll move into Plastic Confessions. We're taking a lot of time here on pre-orders, so we'll move into Plastic Confessions.
Oh yes.
Unfortunately,
you got another token?
I've got another token, dude.
You're getting lots of tokens.
Yeah, I'm slacking. I'm hoping I get something between now and next week, so I can not have another token. I just have not been buying anything lately. I've been, and you're teasing me with that.
Look at that.
I've got a friend that hopefully is going to hook me up. I'm not going to give out any names.
Okay, yeah.
I'm hoping they hook me up. They've got an extra. We'll see.
So, since you got a token, my Plastic Confession for this week is I got in my Mezco exclusive 2-pack of Batman and Two-Face. I freaking love the packaging. Like this, look at that. That's so freaking awesome. I love the packaging. Cool.
I gotta say, this
gives me like a Dick Tracy vibe. Like if this is how the Batman is, I can't wait till the Dick Tracy packaging comes out. Like this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, stole the words right out of my mouth. I feel like this is much like how Mafex has their comic line.
Yeah.
I think if Mezco can focus on a classic comic line, it's going to be gold, man. Golden age.
My only suggestion for their packaging is what I would have loved is if there would have been Velcro here and you could have just pulled it apart to show the figures inside.
Yeah,
I don't need a box within a box. If they would have done it that way, that would have been even stellar. Like
even cooler. Yeah, that's a great idea. Even the individual boxes, though, are really cool.
This is... Let me do it the right way. So, like, if you were to do them this way... Oh, no, I did it the wrong way. There we go. This way. Right? And put some Velcro, and then you just open them, and then you have the figure. You can see the figure there. And that would be cool, because then people can display them. Like, you can have Two-Face and Batman's face.
That's genius, dude.
Yeah,
I really like that idea.
Wanted. Yeah. So I'm like, I would love to have it like this, or have a second set and have it displayed open, and you can see, it's like a window, like almost like Storm Collectibles does it.
Yeah, for people that are in-box collectors, it'd be a great way to display.
Prompts me to get two. I'll keep one, and then just display. If I'm a huge Batman fan, I would love to have this, be able to display the figure, and then have a second set that I can take out. But I'm just like, man, this stinks. Like I can't really appreciate the packaging as much as I want because I have this box, and then I have this other stinking box. Like,
and it makes you probably a lot less willing to get rid of that packaging. You're like, oh man, this is so specific to this.
Yeah, I don't want to get rid of it. I want to be able to display it properly. But I'm like, I'm not going to display all the boxes. Like I would have loved it if it would have been just like a book. Just open it up. Yeah, so I'm super pumped to get this in.
I really regret not getting it. It was a moment of weakness for me where I was just like, I don't need another Batman. But the more pictures I see of it, the packaging's amazing.
Yeah.
I hope they continue that trend where they continue to do other offerings. Like, give me the same kind of Robin and Joker pack.
Yeah.
With the crowbar.
Give us a Robin and Riddler. Because we have so
Robin and Riddler would be great. Yes. That's a good idea.
That one, the tracksuit or the bodysuit that Kevin likes to wear. Give me the onesie Kev suit, and the giant question mark.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
I'll be excited to see you break those out on the next. I'm assuming you're going to wait for the next enablers to break that out.
Probably pop them off. Okay. Break them out of the package for the next enablers. Hopefully,
I'll have mine in hand, and maybe I can unbox it with you while I'm watching. Yes. I hope my friend comes through, but no pressure. You know who you are.
If that person doesn't, then we'll scold them on the next episode of Figure Booth.
I'm just going to blast them in my story. Just be super hateful because people don't know who. Oh, wait.
I'll block them. I'll block them instantly.
Block this guy when you see him in my stories, guys. So my dirty trick for the week. This one may be a bit more simplified, but I found it while I was working on my latest shot. So normally what I do if I don't have like a diode to do a background, I'll put like a cardboard or like a colored cardboard. I usually use two different ones. I use like a cloud scene, which is like just blue and clouds. You can kind of tell what it is. And then on the other side, I have a starry night scene. So it's like purple and it's got stars.
It's kind of like galaxy.
Yeah, a lot of people probably have seen these before. They're very common pieces of cardboard. I usually just tape it to like a piece of foam. Well, I started thinking, I'm like, man, I've only got two real options for backgrounds because that new 78 point style that I have is open in the back. You have to kind of fill out the background a bit.
Okay.
Because it's just like the archway. And I'm used to having like a background that's like a dial or something.
Right.
So what and credit to my friend Toys for Life, he gave me this idea. He's like, why don't you just put a white piece of cardboard back there, like a white piece of paper or something big, and then use your LED lights to make it a different color. Because I wanted like a red background. I wanted something that's kind of like orangish. I sent you the shot because originally it was blue. I'm talking about my latest Conan shot. I had it start out as blue background, but I had like kind of orange lights. And my friend Niels had told me, he's like, man, I like it, but the background's not matching your lighting, and it's thrown me off. So I'm like, okay, how can I do this? He said, just put a white cardboard background and then use your LED lights to shine on it different colors. So I've got two different desk lamps that I usually use to light the background, and they both have multicolor LEDs. So you can change it to like red or orange or yellow or blue or whatever it is. So I just used that and shined it on the white, and the white absorbs all of that color.
Yeah.
So it changed my background. So now I've got all these different color options for the backgrounds. It's great. I love it.
That's
so
awesome.
It seems like a simple idea, but if you guys are struggling with like, hey, I want to have a different color background, just use something in the back, like a white piece of paper or a white cardboard, something big enough so you can, can't see the edges, and then just shine a different colored desk lamp on it, and it can be whatever color you want. And that way you can kind of switch up those backgrounds. You're not using the same color every single time and trying to apply that to your photo. It just makes it a bit more user-friendly for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So hopefully that helps you guys. Big thanks to you, Mike, AC Toy Hunters Guild. You posted a TMNT shot and you said to me that the tricks really help you. I love hearing that because I'm just, sometimes I'm not sure. Is this helping somebody? Is this just random information? I'm glad that it helps you guys. Also, like I've talked about before, when you guys do hit that like button and you leave the comment, if you guys have other dirty tricks that you want to share, DM me or leave it on the comment.
Yep, give them to us.
Let us know because I'm not an expert. There's people out there that are way better than me. So if you guys have ideas, share them with me so I can give you credit. I'll tell you, everybody who it was that gave me the idea, and then I'll just share it so everybody can benefit. But last but not least, talking about people that gave us some suggestions, Customs by Machu was listening last week, and he said, hey, I've got a figure aficionado that you have not represented yet. I would like to give you the name. Thank you, Custom by Machu. We really appreciate you. We'll shout you out, too. If you have not checked out his page, go check out Customs by Macho. He's awesome. I think he's been a part of Toying Around. He is a custom figure creator. He's got some really great ideas on his page, lots of content. So go check him out. But I will talk about the guy that he recommended, which is at Wayne Collectors. Let me share this screen here. You've probably seen this guy before, and you might not even noticed it was him. He's got actually a huge following. So not like this guy is hurting for followers. But if you have not discovered him, he reminds me a lot of Mr. Lee.
Nice.
You know,
man, that's some really awesome shots.
Yeah. Just his posing is just insane, and the way he's able to capture details and shots.
I really dig the lighting, and it's almost like simple, and sometimes simple is the best. You know, really showcasing the figure because background's nice and clean. It's like we're looking at this picture of Iron Man. It's a modular Iron Man. He's doing that pose, but it's nothing going on in the background. But I don't feel like there needs to be. He's doing the superhero landing pose, and that's awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great way to kind of show off the figure. And usually he'll provide like 3 or 4 different shots of one figure.
That's awesome.
Just to give you kind of like different poses, different ideas of how you could use it. To Prime's point, I really like the lighting. It might seem, more simple, but he's really just making the figure the central focus. And he's got great ways of posing and using different accessories in his shots.
And it's crazy because we say simple, but it's probably, it's a really challenging technique to master, to like get the lighting right, so the figure doesn't seem like it's flooded. It's hitting all the right highlights, that like it draws your eye to his shiny, like this picture of Luke, it draws your eye to the shiny boots. It draws your, they're product shots where it's like, damn, I want to buy that figure.
Yeah, he's
where if it's simple lighting, I could just take a cheap ass desk lamp and shine it on a figure, and you're like, that's simple lighting and horrible. In this case, it's simple but very, very effective, and it's great lighting.
Yeah, I appreciate you saying that because
I don't want to make
No, it's true though. You say simple, and it's not so simple. It's very, very difficult to get your lighting even like this, just so you can light the accessories and the figure all properly, and to get it all cohesive and the composition right in one shot.
Right, and make sure that your background's completely black. Like you can't.
Right.
You can't tell if there's a background back there or if there's a cloth or anything. It's like, he could be possibly outside. Who knows? No stars. He's out in space.
This is one of those like no dio, no problem. He doesn't need a dio to be a good toy photographer.
No,
he's really just making the figure the central focus.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, so use him as inspiration, guys. If you want to try your hand at toy photography, you don't need dios to do it. All you need is some good lighting. You need to know what you're doing with lighting in a great pose, and you could, be as big as Wayne Collectors here with 37,000 followers. This guy's been doing it for a very long time. So to Prime's point, he's got a ton of experience. But he reminds me a lot of Mr. Lee, which is just very great product photography. I mean, this guy can sell figures easily.
Sometimes I love this type of page where it's like, I can eat it up. Mr. Lee, give me him. Wayne _collector, give me him. Like, this is there's an abundance. Like, there's enough pie, enough space for everybody. So I always
you can just scroll through his gallery and get inspiration to buy certain figures. Like, oh man, I didn't want that modular Iron Man until I saw this shot. I'm like, damn, I gotta have that in my collection now because that thing is sweet looking right here.
And then I remember, oh, I already have that figure, and I should probably go take a picture of it.
Yep. It reminds you, inspires you to do other things like this one, a bunch of different poses all put together in one shot. Really cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check out Wayne _collectors, just like I'm saying it, no special spelling. Give him a follow. Big thanks to Customs by Machu. Check him out too. Give him a follow. Another great creator in the community. Thank you for the suggestion. Please continue to give us suggestions, guys. It really helps us out. We don't want to be the only ones picking these. We want you guys to have some say into it. So yes, thank you for that. If you're not subscribed already, go subscribe to thefigurebooth.com or the Figure Booth on YouTube. What are you doing with your life, right, Prime?
Come on.
Hit the notification bell so you don't miss lives, you don't miss new episodes. We've got some new stuff coming. We're going to have some new guests coming on very, very soon.
Excited for some interviews lined up. Yes. Can't wait. We'll put them in the hot seat. We'll ask them the questions you want to know. And the ones you don't want to know, or you do want to ask, don't want to ask, we'll ask them all. We're gonna
Or
be
you can
like
just, put 'em in
we're
the
gonna be like
comments.
the new 2020. We're just gonna put him in the hot seat and ask him a ton of questions. It's gonna be awesome.
We're not going to talk. We're just questions only.
Just questions.
Okay.
Questions after
Don't tell us
question
about
after question.
yourself. Question number 1. Okay. Yeah. So hit the like button, leave a comment. Let us know what you think about the ethics. What are some problems you notice in the community? What do you think about some of our suggested solutions?
Yep.
You can tell me it's horrible as long as you're respectful about it, right?
Yes, sir.
And tune in for next week's episode.
That's right. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Again, I've been your host, Josh, aka Prime to the First. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, all under Prime to the First.
And I've been Nate, aka FigureFan_Nate. You can follow me on Instagram. What else? Facebook, and occasionally TikTok, all at FigureFan_Nate. Thank you guys for tuning in. Have a great week. We'll see you all later.